Good evening to all of you. Hope my voice is audible. Hope my voice is audible to all of you. Good evening to everyone. So we are in a discussion of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Most of the portions we already discussed. Uh, we will continue our discussion. Whether my voice is audible, shall we get into the topic directly? Shall we get into the topic directly? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So up to previous class, we discussed, I think up to general classing we discussed. We are discussing about negotiable instrument. Under that, related to check, we are discussing. Previous class we discussed about a lot of things, and finally we discussed about crossing the check. Under the crossing the check, we discussed about general crossing. I hope up to general crossing we completed. Correct. So shall I proceed further? All of you remember our previous class discussion? So I will continue with the special crossing. I will continue with the special crossing. All of you please carry your material. Good evening, sir. You told that after completing the portion, you will revise the Indian Contract Act. I did not mention anything like that. But we will see. Time permits, we will cover that also, because it is already covered by some other faculty, correct? The Indian Contract Act. So we will see if possible, if anything is left out in Indian Contract Act, that also we will cover, not a problem. But what is my topic and the syllabus given to me, that I will cover first. Okay. Special crossing. What is this special crossing? General crossing. Yesterday, previous class, we discussed about crossing. Crossing means just drawing two lines in the left side of the check, face of the left side of the check, and the corner of the check, top corner of the check, we can say. So that is crossing. General crossing, in the sense, what is the objective of crossing? First, objective of crossing is you cannot present the check and you cannot collect the cash in hand. You cannot withdraw the cash by depositing check. It is not possible. Only account transfer is possible. Only account transfer. The amount should be transferred to account, the recipient account. Okay, that the receiver's account actually. So that is objective of crossing. That also general crossing, special crossing. What is this special crossing? That we will discuss now. Where a check bears across a space an addition of the name of a banker either with or without the words negotiable, that addition shall be deemed a crossing, and the check shall be deemed to be crossed specially and to be crossed to that banker. So what is this special crossing? This special crossing is nothing but sometimes what will happen, this check should be presented only with this particular bank. not with other banks. This check should be presented only with this particular bank. Bank name is mentioned in the check. Yes, correct, bank name is mentioned, which means, and that crossing, State Bank of India, it is mentioned as State Bank of India means, then I have to deposit only in State Bank of India. I should have some account. Recipient should have one account in State Bank of India. Then only he can get the money. Other banks, if you deposit, I will not get money. So only the State Bank, if then that crossing State Bank of India return means, then that particular bank only this check can be processed further. No other banks will not process, because that is called special crossing. A name of a banker mentioned in the parallel line, between the parallel line means, for that particular bank only I can get the money. All other banks not possible. That is the specialty of special crossing. I think this also we covered in previous class, if I remember. So I will move to the next topic. Other types of crossing which is not defined in the act but present in is usage is restrictive crossing or account paying crossing. Other type of crossing which is not defined in the act but present in usage is restrictive crossing or account payee crossing. That's what crossing only mentioned. Crossing means drawing two lines. But due to customs and practice, we started doing something additional. We are trying to write something additional also, but which is not there in act. But everyone will accept. Due to customs and practice, regularly we are following that customs tradition. Then that also becomes indirectly a law. Okay, that's what they are trying to say. Restrictive crossing or account payee crossing is nothing but I draw two lines, parallel lines, two lines. In between, I am writing account payee only. Account payee, AC payee means account payee. A/C payee means account payee only. All this word, what is the purpose? Same purpose. What is the purpose? You should transfer the money to only bank account. Now you should not give cash to the holder of the check. You should not give the cash to the holder of the check. You should better you have to transfer the money to the particular recipient account. Cash transaction not permitted. I'm going for a bank. I'm going to a bank and I have a check in my hand. In the check, account payee mentioned means my name is Gauri Shankaran. It is mentioned as Gauri Shankaran means they will not give money in my hand. They will not give, cashier will not give money in my hand. Rather, he will ask, sir, your name is Gauri Shankaran and it is mentioned as account payee. Do you have any bank account which the name contains Gauri Shankaran, your name? You have a bank account on your name. Show me that bank account. Give the details of that bank account. I will transfer this money to your account, because this is account payee check, which means cash transaction not permitted. That is the meaning. Okay. That is what mentioned here. In the present day transaction, we find the terms account payee, account AC, that is A/C payee, that means account payee only on the checks. It has developed in the trade and in common to use these terms on the left side of the check between the two transverse lines. But there is no law mentioned about this type of crossing either in Bill of Exchange of Great Britain or the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Remember 1881 of India. The terms means that the amount should not be paid at the counter but should be credited into the account of the payee only. Payee, who is going to be receiver? Payee. However, the meaning of the other crossing is also same. This types of crossing gives additional protection to the check. Nothing new. Okay, already we discussed these points. So this is what mentioned. Account payee. So account payee and co-account payee, State Bank of India, Reddy and Co, sales tax officer, all these things are just an example. Effect, what is effect? It is merely in the form of direction to the receiving bank that the drawer desires to pay the particular check into bank, which keeps the account of payee. What they are trying to say, you should have a bank account for receiving the money. Okay, that's what they are saying. Cash transaction not permitted. Account payee crossing check can also be transferable like other checks. Yes, of course, account payee is mentioned, but name is blank. Name is blank, or he can transfer to another person also, one person to another person. I got a check from one person and I will write again, transfer this check to so and so person, means that person can go and collect the check. So that is also permitted. So I'll move to the next heading, not negotiable crossing. What this not negotiable crossing? Previous class itself I discussed a little bit not negotiable. What is this not negotiable crossing? So generally, you know, what is the general rule is? General rule is that who is holding the check having better title than the who is actually transferred the check. You got it or not? What I'm saying? The holder of the check is always having better title, which means we have to rely the person who is holding the check. If not negotiable is not written means, then holder of the check is always getting the better title. For example, I did not write anything, not negotiable, nothing I did not write in check, okay? Simply I gave check to X. X is, I'm giving check, I gave check to X actually. X collected the check and while walking on the road, he just forgot the check. He lost the check actually. And Y, there is a person called Y, he collected the check. And what Y did now? It is a blank check actually, simply blank check, nothing is written. So what he did, he put his name Y and he went to bank and he collected the cash. Whether it is an acceptable one or not acceptable one, you tell me. Whether it is an acceptable one or not acceptable one. There is someone called A. A given check to X, but it is a blank check. Okay? A telling to X, you go and collect the money from directly. He filled the amount like 50,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees in VATs, 50,000 rupees in amount, all the things he filled, but name he did not filled. And he gave it to X. X is while walking into the road, he forgot. Why got the check and he went and he encashed the money. Whether it is an acceptable one or not acceptable one, tell me. Acceptable. One of the student mentioned as acceptable. What about others? Not acceptable. What about others? It's a blank check. Nothing is written. Only amount. Signature is there. Amount is there. 50,000, 50,000. But name he forgot to write. Simply giving you write your own, you write name yourself. But X didn't write the name. He is just going to the bank. While walking himself, he left the check. He lost the check and Y got the check and he went to bank and he collected the cash. Whether it is an acceptable if A signature is there. Yes, A signature is there. Then only he can make an encashment. But name he did not write any name. That is the problem. Acceptable. Acceptable. Okay. Yes, if it is acceptable only because banker do not know A signature is there and he does not know who written the name. Okay. But in case that A is there, A, the person who is actually the owner of check, drawer of check, we can say drawer of the check. If A is writing not negotiable in the check, in between the parallel line is there, in that he is mentioning not negotiable. Then Y cannot claim at the bank, because if he is claiming, then banker has to ensure that Y is the actually a payee. Y is actually a payee. Whether he is going to receive the money, that has to be ensured by banker itself. Banker has to ensure. How he will ensure? He has to contact the A. Banker should contact the A. Sir, there is a check in the name of Y for 50,000 rupees. Have you drawn this check or who drawn this check? Then A should confirm, yes, I only drawn. Then only he can get the money. Y can get the money from bank. Then A will tell, no, sir, that check I gave it to X, but X lost the check during the walking on the road. So please do not give money means then he will not give money to Y. You got it or not? That is called not negotiable. You understood? Not negotiable means it is not like that. It is not transferable. It is not like transferable. Legally, it should be transferred. Legally transferred means that they have to ensure that actually the recipient is the the person who is going to get the money. The banker has to ensure that one. Understood or not? What I am saying? You understood? That has to be checked by banker before giving the money. That is called not negotiable. It is not like not negotiable means it is not transferable. It is transferable only, but it should the banker should ensure that the correct person only receiving the money. You got it or not? What I'm saying? The true owner, it should be protected. The true owner, nobody should be cheated. That's what the objective of not negotiable. Understood? If not negotiable return, then banker has to ask from Y, how you got this check? What is the amount? Okay. How banker has to ensure from A. A sir, did you wrote the check, draw the check on behalf of Y? Then A will tell, no, I gave it to only X, but something is happened. X is lost the check and Y is trying to collect. Don't give the money to him. Then transaction cancelled. You got it? What I'm saying? So now we will get into the language of the material. What is mentioned there? Section 123 and 124 of the Act permits the use of the words not negotiable in the crossing. What is special in not negotiable check? What is special in not negotiable check? Special is nothing but special is special crossing. We can say special crossing. What is special in not negotiable check means what you are asking. You are asking about special crossing, or what is the advantages of negotiable check you are asking? So I will tell advantages. That's what not negotiable means. A banker has to ensure. He should not simply give the money to the payee. He has to ensure, are you the correct person to receive this money or not? Should be ensured by the banker. He has to ask lot of questions. He has to ensure that he is going to receive the money. Okay. Section 123 and 124 of the Act permits the use of not negotiable in crossing. Section 130 of the Act clarifies the position. Section 130 what it says. Remember section 130. A person taking a check crossed generally or specially, bearing in either case the words not negotiable, shall not have and shall not be capable of giving a better title to check than that which the person for whom he took it had. So actually, you will not get the better title. Simply, you will not get the title of the that particular check. He has to ensure. Okay, the words not negotiable do not mean not transferable. If it is so, the very meaning and purpose of the check and character of bill of exchange will die. Not negotiable means it is not like not transferable, but whether the transfer is legitimately correct or not, legally valid or not, that we have to ensure. Transferability is a narrow term rather than the word negotiability. The check not transferable crossed can also be transferred like any other. Check not transferable means not negotiable. What they are mentioning, check not transferable means not negotiable. The check not transferable or not negotiable crossed can also be transferred like any other check, but it gives more protection. See here, but it gives more protection from the general crossing and special crossing. It is a warning upon the paying and collecting bankers. Both of them should be very careful in transaction of this type of check. That's what they are saying. Collecting banker should ensure whether the what we are going to pay, that whether he is legally eligible to get that money or not. That is why the word not negotiable is important. If they pay to the wrong person, then banker is responsible. That's why. The true owner is protected by this type of crossing more perfectly. If it is stolen, the finder cannot cash it is so easily. That's what they are saying. If it is stolen means the finder cannot cash it so easily, means why cannot get the money easily? The good title cannot be passed through to him. He will be compelled to return to the true owner. The owner's right is prevented safely against any subsequent holder. A is given to X, but X lost the check. Y collected the check. Y got the check and he is going to bank. Now bank will not give money because the check is a not negotiable check, which means it legally prevented, protected check. Got it? That is what. It gives more protection and safe to the holder of the check, definitely. Who is holding the check having more protection if it the word not negotiable return means. The third person cannot cash it easily. Y is going on road and he is collecting from X, Y cannot take the money from bank. It cannot be transferred like any other check. It can be transferred like any other check, yes, of course. But legitimate, we have to check. If the banker is negligent and transfer the amount of the check to another account, he will be held responsible, liable to make the payment compensation to the sufferer. Bank pays to Y, then the bank is responsible for loss because bank did not check the background of Y. Simply paid the money to Y means not acceptable because that check is not negotiable check. That is the reason. Understood? Just go through yourself. Just go through yourself. Just go through yourself. So next one is double crossing, second special crossing. Double crossing and second special crossing. So what is this double crossing and special cross, again special crossing? Say for example, I deposited the check into particular bank. Okay, that bank may be in some remote area. They do not have sufficient facility to process the check, and due to some reason they what that bank will do now, that bank will again write another bank name in that check, which means, for example, I presented check in State Bank of India means State Bank of India will write as Andhra Bank, please pay the money, like that he will mention, and he will mention Andhra Bank as a agent, which means on behalf of State Bank of India, Andhra Bank will pay money to customer. Sometimes it will happen because the State Bank of India will be in some remote place, a hill station. They do not have sufficient facility to process the money. So what they will do, they will arrange an agent. Agent means another banker. State Bank of India will arrange Punjab National Bank as an agent. They will transfer this check to Punjab National Bank. Then Punjab based National Bank further they will process and they will pay the money. That is called double crossing. Double crossing is permitted only by the banker. Banker only is eligible for doing double crossing. Double crossing means check is presented with particular bank, but that bank, due to some various reason, they are again transferring that check to their another bank for processing purpose. That is double crossing. See here, itself it is mentioned State Bank of Hyderabad to Andhra Bank as an agent for collection. Pay to Andhra Bank as agent for collection of State Bank of India. On behalf of State Bank of India, Andhra Bank is collecting the money. Okay. On behalf of State Bank of India, Andhra Bank is collecting the money. It is called double crossing. Double crossing is nothing but it is crossed by one banker on behalf of another banker. Okay. See here, I'm reading now. Whether a check is crossed, especially the banker to whom it is crossed may again cross it specially to another banker. His agent for collection is called double crossing. One cross is already, sorry, one bank. I already made a special crossing. Special crossing means I mentioned State Bank of India and I presented, but State Bank of India, due to some reason, they are not able to process the check. Again, State Bank of India will write that check. Please, they will transfer the check to Andhra Bank as an agent of State Bank of India. So Andhra Bank will do further process and they will transfer the money. It's like an agent only. That's what they mentioned, double crossing. Okay. Second para I'm reading. There a check crossed, especially the banker to whom it is crossed may again cross it specially to another banker is agent for collection. Special crossing is nothing but one particular bank only they are I'm eligible to get the money, but that particular bank due to some reason they are not able to process the money. State Bank of India. Again, that State Bank of India, what they will do, they will transfer the check to another bank for process, further process. That is called double crossing. Second special crossing. Okay. This is the only case where a second special crossing is allowed by the act. This is the only case where a second special crossing is allowed by the act, and that can be done only for the purpose of collection and that to a banker. Collection purpose only, not for other purpose. Collection purpose only it is allowed. Therefore, it is called double crossing or second special crossing. The private parties are not allowed to utilize double crossing. Okay. Effect, double crossing is not permitted to general public. General public is not eligible for double crossing. It is practiced only in case of transaction between the bankers. Yes, others are not allowed to use double crossing. It is in practice to cross the face of the check of left side, but in case of double crossing, it is the regular practice to cross the back side of the check where sufficient space is available. Because front side you have very less space, so they are writing on the back side. That's what they are saying. Okay. Section 127 lays down that where a check is crossed especially to more than one banker except when crossed to an agent for the purpose of collection, the banker on whom it is drawn shall refuse payment thereof. Only for due purpose of agent only, again I will write one more bank name. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Okay. Who can cross a check? Next question. Who can cross a check? Who will draw the check? The drawer will draw the check, right? The owner of the check, ultimate owner of the check. He can cross the check. Sometimes what will happen? Drawer did not cross the check. He simply filled the name, or else he simply filled the amount in words, amount in rupees, and he simply signed the check. And he simply signed the check and he gave it. For example, A is a drawer. A is a drawer. Okay, he is going to sign the check. Sometimes what will happen? A himself can cross the check. He will cross and give it to B, which means B cannot do anything further. You got it or not? Sometimes what will happen? A will not cross the check. A will simply sign and give it to B. Then B is having an option of crossing the check. He will cross and he can present it to the bank. What is the purpose of crossing? It can be transferred, amount can be transferred only to bank account. You cannot withdraw the cash if it is crossed means. That is the purpose of crossing. What they are asking is who can cross the check? Who can draw the line in the check? First option, first preference given to drawer. Drawer is only because he is initiating the transaction. He is having the check in his packet and he is taking one leaf and he can draw the two lines. Then drawer can cross the check. Drawer forgets to cross the check. Then what will happen? Then holder of the check can cross the check. And holder is also forget. He is going to banker. Banker is having a rights to cross the check. He will cross and he will tell, sir, I will not pay cash. I will pay only account transfer. I will do only account transfer. That also possibility is there. Now we will understand what is there in the material. Where a check is crossed, generally the holder may cross it specially. What they are saying, where a check is crossed generally. For example, I am a drawer. I am the original owner of this check. Okay, I am having leaf and I already crossed. Generally means I am writing account payee only. Generally means I am writing account payee only, and I give it to A is a drawer and he is writing account payee only, and I give it to B. B is having this check in his hand now. What he will do? He will write again one more word called not negotiable. Not negotiable. Like that. That is another crossing by B. Okay. So like that, if it is blank, then B can do it. If B is also not doing anything, then banker is also eligible to cross. That's what they are saying here. Where a check is crossed, generally the holder may cross it specially. Where a check is crossed, generally especially the holder may add the words not negotiable. Where a check is crossed, especially the banker to whom it is crossed may again cross it specially to another banker is agent for collection. That is called double crossing. If it is generally crossed, means I went to State Bank of India. State Bank of India, due to some reason, they are not able to process. Again, they will cross. Why the crossing is that is called double crossing. Why double crossing? They are transferring the check to another banker. That another banker is nothing but agent of this banker. What is their another banker job? Simply they will do processing and they will arrange funds and they will create transfer to this bank account. That is the job of another banker. He's an agent. Okay. So I think the end part we completed. Any doubts on this? We left out something in the beginning, that also we will cover. That also we will cover. I think 3.2, from 3.2 we started. So any doubts? Shall we proceed further? Shall we proceed further? Shall we proceed further? Little bit we will go through this, all these points also. Then we will discuss 1 mark. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So negotiable instrument, up to negotiable instrument we discussed already. From section 13 we will discuss. So section 13 of the act, section 13 of the act defines negotiable instrument as a promissory note, bill of exchange or a check payable either to order or to bearer. Order means to particular person, bearer means who is carrying the check. Who is having the check is eligible to deposit and collect the money. Normally blank check, or they will mention word called bearer, who is carrying the check with their hand. So thus a negotiable instrument means an instrument, and next a negotiable instrument means an instrument, the property which is acquired by anyone who takes a bona fide and for value, notwithstanding anything defect in the title of the transfer, if need not necessarily a promissory note, bill of exchange or a check. Negotiable instruments, any instrument they are saying, but a character should be there, similar to bill of exchange or promissory note or check. Same characteristics should be there. Name may be anything. Name may be anything. Okay. What is the characteristic of negotiable instrument? It is transferable. And some considering should not be any. There should not be any conditional. There should not be any conditions. Okay, and there should not be any in the that is the basic criteria for characteristics of a particular negotiable instrument. Okay. Explanation: a promissory note, bill of exchange or check is payable to order which is expected to be payable to a particular person does not contain words prohibiting transfer indicating an intention that it shall not be transferable. A promissory note, bill of exchange or check is payable to the order to which is expressed to be payable or which is expressed to be payable to a particular person and does not contain words, prohibiting transfer or indicating an intention that it shall not be transferable. Promissory notes mean it is transferable, and it is transferable to a particular person or it is transferable as per order. it should be paid to a particular person. It is as per order, or it is paid as per demand. Depends, but it should be transferable, legally transferable. Then only it becomes promissory note. Transfer means one person to another person I can transfer. That is the meaning. Then promissory note, comma, bill of exchange or check either originally which is expected to be so payable or which or on which only a last endorsement in the blank. What they are saying, a promissory note, comma, bill of exchange or check either originally which is expressed to so be pay to be so payable or on which the only or last endorsement is an endorsement in blank. So what they are saying, again the same thing they are repeating. Promissory may expressly I have to write to whom it is going to be payable, or the person who is going to receive at the last is the eligible for the payment. Like that I have to express. So likewise they are saying, I will go to the next page. Characteristics of negotiable instrument. The term negotiable instrument may also be extended to other instruments like bill of lading, undies, etc., provided satisfy the following characteristics. Promissory note, negotiable instrument does not only includes bill of exchange, promissory note, check. This is majorly three bill promissory. Sorry, these three are basically negotiable instrument act. These three are basically negotiable instruments. But apart from this, there are some other instrument like bill of lading, undies. All these things are is also a negotiable instrument, but they have to possess the following characteristics. Characteristic. Negotiable instrument. What is the characteristics, sir? What is the features, sir? How can I define particular things are called as negotiable instrument? Undies is like what you can say. It is like a promissory note only. It is like a promissory note only. Something is written and it should be paid to someone, like that. It is one of the negotiable instrument. Okay. What is the exact meaning of undies? Unconditional order in writing made by person directing another person to pay certain sum of money to a person named in the order. Similar to promissory note. Undies. Unconditional order in a writing made by a person directing another person to pay certain sum of money. Related to money, there is some agreement or note, promissory note. They are making some promise to pay the money. That's similar to promissory note. Point number A. Free and innumerable transfers. Anytime you can transfer A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. Free means what? No confusion. Ownership should be cleared. Clarity should be there in ownership. We should not get confused. There should not be error in the title error in the ownership. Got it? That is free and innumerable transfer. A negotiable transfer, negotiable instrument may be transferred by delivery or by endorsement and delivery. Delivery means just directly we are transferring. Endorsement means I'm just writing on someone else's name and I'm delivering. Negotiable instrument can be transferred ad infinitum, anytime, transferred infinitum, anytime, any number of times. That is transferred any number of times till it satisfaction on date of maturity. Up to maturity, from A to B, B to C, C to D, E to F, G, like that I can transfer and I can collect the money. Ultimately, before maturity, I have to do all these things. It's free from defect from errors. Ownership I should not question. There should not be any confusion. Okay. Free from defect means what they're saying. The holder in due course obtains a good title to the instrument, notwithstanding anything, notwithstanding any defect in a previous holder's title. I should not get confusion. I got from A, but A is an actually eligible for getting this promissory note. And I am going to transfer to B. I am going to transfer to C. C should not get confusion whether this is valid document or not. That is called free from defect. Eligible for any number of transfers. A holder in due course is one who receives the instrument for consideration before maturity and without any notice as to defect in title of the transferor. Got it or not? Then only it is called free from defect. I got A is transferring to B and B is getting from A means when I will say it is a free from defect. I got it for some consideration, and there is a validity period, and I did not any notice on A about the defect in the title of transfer. Defect means what, sir? He will not be the owner, actual owner. He is a fraud owner. Then there is a defect in the title. Then I should not get any, I should not be noticed or anything like that. You got it? Holder to sue in his own name. I am the holder of this document. I am the holder of this instrument. If I'm going to bank, they should give me money. They should not say, I have a doubt on you. Give me your passport. Give me your Aadhaar card. Give me your so-and-so things. They should not ask like that. That's what they're saying. Holder to sue in his own name. The holder in due course of a negotiating instrument can sue on instrument in his own name. If I presenting check, it is a job of banker should give the money. Presumption. What is this presumption? What is this presumption? A negotiation instrument subject to certain presumptions listed under section 118 and 119 as to consideration, date, time of acceptance, transfer, endorsement, etc. Okay. Note, share certificates with blank transfer deeds, deposit receipts, and made receipts are not negotiable instrument. Share certificate with blank transfer deeds. Share certificate is like, share, company share is there, na? That is share only they are saying. Yeah, all these things are not a negotiable instrument, they are saying. Remember, for 1 mark purpose. Made receipt. Made receipt is a temporary receipt issued and signed by the officer of a vessel. Vessel this made receipt is used. Vessel means what? Ship, all those things. Special presumption. Presumption means what? Negotiable instrument means these things should be definitely there. Consideration should be there, date should be there, time of acceptance should be there, time of transfer should be there, order of endorsement should be there, stamp should be there. Promissory note, bill of exchange means definitely that it should be properly stamped. Holder in due course is there, fact of dishonor. All these things should be there. Presumption, all these things are presumption. Consideration means what? Whenever there is a negotiable instrument, it is transferred from one person to another person means A is transferring to B means without consideration, no one will transfer. There should be some consideration, money involvement. Date, definitely date, when I am signing the document. Promissory note, when I am signing check, what is the date? Bill of exchange, what is the date? Date should be there definitely. That is the legal thing actually. If you want to do something further, date is the criteria for everything. Okay. Likewise, there we'll move to the next thing. Point number B. The Negotiable Instrument Act will not affect Section 21 of Indian Paper Currency Act 1871 or any local usage relating to any instrument in local language. So what they are saying, Indian Paper Currency Act is a separate act that negotiable instrument will not affect that act. That's what they are saying. Okay. So types of negotiable instrument. Types of negotiable instrument means what? As per the act, you have 3 types. One is bill of exchange. Another one is promissory note, and another one is check. This is as per act. Whether payable to bearer or order. Check, bearer check or order check. Both. Bearer check means who is carrying the check, they can collect the cash. Order check means I'm ordering specifically pay to A, specifically pay to B, specifically pay to C. I'm ordering like that. Negotiable by custom or usage. But apart from this bill of exchange or promissory note or check, there are some other instrument which will be treated similar to negotiable instruments. What is that? So I will go read that also. So the Act speaks of only 3 types. Okay. So the Act speaks of only 3 types of negotiable instrument, but it does consider other kinds of instruments from being treated as a negotiable instrument, provided they possess the characteristics of a negotiable instrument. Accordingly, certain other instruments take character of negotiable instrument, may be by customs or usage. So following things are similar to negotiable instrument. Dividend warrant. Dividend warrant is like, dividend announced by the company. Once dividend announcement, they have to definitely pay. It is similar to negotiable instrument. Dividend announced, interim dividend, final dividend means they have to pay within 30 days to the shareholders. Circular notes, bearer debentures, all these things are similar to negotiable instrument act. Okay. Classification of negotiable instruments. What is this classification of negotiable instruments? Types of negotiable instruments. One is bearer and order. First one is bearer and order instrument. What is this bearer instrument? Bearer means who is carrying the check, who is carrying the instrument in the hand. They are eligible for the money. Bearer, anyone who is bearing the check, carrying the instrument in the hand, carrying the instrument, they are eligible for the amount. That's what bearer. I'm reading. A negotiable instrument is said to be payable to bearer when it is expressed to be so payable, or only or last endorsement is a blank endorsement. Anyone can get the money. Who is carrying the money, who is carrying the instrument, they are eligible for collecting the money. Order means what? Order means specifically pay to this person, not to everyone. Not everyone eligible. I have to pay to Sureka means then I have to pay to Sureka only, not to others. I have to pay to Subbalakshmi means I have to pay Subbalakshmi. I have to pay Chandramohan means then I have to pay to Chandramohan. Like that. Then that is called negotiable instrument based on order instruments. Okay. Inland and foreign instrument. Inland and foreign instrument. Inland means what? Within India. Anything which is claimable within India. Written person, drawer, drawee, everyone is there in India only, and they are going to settle the instrument within India means then that is called inland instrument. Foreign instrument means one another party involved or on another country is involved. Another part means foreign person is involved or foreign country is involved in the transaction, and it is not enforceable maybe within India. It may be enforceable in abroad also, in another country also. Then that is called the foreign instrument. For example, travelers check, all those things. Okay. Then demand and time instrument. Demand and time instrument means what? Whenever I'm asking money, they have to give. That is called demand instrument. Whenever I'm asking the money, they have to give. Payable on demand. Check is a demand instrument or time instrument? Tell me. Check is a demand instrument. Time instrument means what? After some period only, I am eligible to get the money. After expiry of promissory note, I am mentioning. After 1 year only, I will pay means after 1 year only time comes, maturity comes. But in case of demand instrument means anytime, whenever I'm presenting, you have to pay. So that is called demand instrument. Now tell me, check is a this demand instrument or time instrument. What is traveler check? Traveler check is like, when I'm going for abroad for some tourism purpose. I will present a check there and I will collect the money from the foreign bank. I'll create this. First of all, I'm in India. I'm going to Indian bank and I'm collecting some traveler check, and with that check I'm going to some foreign place and I will present the check there and I will collect the cash. Normally foreigner comes to India, they will not have money now, so they will present this check and they will collect the money. Now tell me whether this check is a demand instrument or demand based instrument or time based instrument. One person mentioned demand instrument. What about others? Check is a demand based instrument or time based instrument? Demand, sir. Demand based. Whenever I'm asking the money, they have to pay. Then that is demand instrument. Correct? Correct. But time instrument is like a promissory note or bill of exchange, which will get matured on particular period, like that normally. Okay. An instrument is payable. An instrument is payable on demand when it is expressed to be so payable or when no time is specified on it. Any time. A check is always payable on demand. Yes. Then a note or bill if payable after a specified period or happening of a specified event which is certain, then it is a time instrument. Specified period I will pay means then it is a time instrument. If a promissory note or bill of BS expression at site and on presentation mean it is on demand. That means the words on demand are usually found in a promissory note, where the words at site are found in a bill of exchange. But in case if it is a site or presentation mean, then it becomes demand. Otherwise, if they are mentioning time means, then it is a time instrument. Okay. On site means whenever I'm presenting, you have to pay. Presentation, whenever I'm presenting, I have to pay. Okay. So next one is genuine accommodation and 50 TS bill. We will take a small break and we will complete this 2 pages and we will complete the 1 marks also. Okay. Around 5 to 10 minutes break we will take and we will meet again. Time is around 5:30 now. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask the doubts. If you have any other doubts, you can ask me in this 10 minutes time. Okay. I will share this playlist also. CMA Foundation playlist. What I already uploaded in YouTube. Okay, that is for your reference sharing. So whatever the class we are discussing, the same thing I'm sharing for your reference. So any other doubts, you can ask me. Even if you have any other doubts in any other subjects also, like accounts, can even ask me that also. We have plenty of time for preparations, and exams are, I think, going to reschedule. Again, they are going to reschedule the exam for some other dates, future dates. That is another advantage for all of you. I hope my class is understandable in nature. You are able to understand the discussion first. I'm I'm explaining at the maximum possible way. So you are able to understand, or it's very, very difficult to understand the subject. Are you okay? Whether my teaching is understandable in nature, to be able to understand. Okay. Yes, sir, we can understand. Yes, sir. So shall we continue? Shall we continue? Next one is demand that we completed. Next one is genuine accommodation and fixed TS bill. These things are general knowledge. Genuine means what? Nobody is involving in any fraud or malpractice activity. Title of the holder is clear. No confusions. No defect. No defect in the title of the holder. That is for some consideration. Okay. So what they are saying, when a bill is drawn, accepted or endorsed for consideration, it is a genuine bill. When it is drawn, accepted or endorsed without consideration, it is an accommodation bill. When a drawer or payee or both are 50 TS, the bill is called 50 TS bill. If the both drawer and payee of a bill are 50 TS person, then acceptor is liable to holder in a due course. If the That's what they are trying again and again. If the holder in due course can show that the signature of the supposed drawer and the first payee are in the same handwriting. Okay. So genuine accommodation and 50 TS bill. Genuine is acceptable in nature. It is for some consideration. Accommodation is normally considered for without consideration. For example, so he is my friend. I'm going to pay this. I'm going to settle this promissory note on behalf of my friend. Accommodating. I am accommodating means what? I don't have any liability, but I'm taking the liability without any consideration because he is my friend. For my friend liability, I am going to pay the amount. It is like an accommodation bill. Without consideration, I'm taking some liability. I'm promising without any consideration. I don't have any consideration because he is my friend. He is not able to pay. I'm going to pay on behalf of him. I don't have any benefits on this. Like that, 50 TS bill is like fake something. It is related to fake. 50 TS means what? When drawer or payee or both are 50 TS, the bill is called 50 TS bill. If both drawer and pay of bill or 50 days present, the acceptor is liable to holder in a due course. So 50 days means there is something problem, issues is there. Okay. Clean and documentary bill. Clean means all things are perfect. Okay. When no documents relating to goods are annexed to the bill, it is a clean bill. When documents of title or other documents relating goods are attached, it is a documentary bill. Simply promissory note, only on paper. Everything is written, no attachments. Then it is a clean bill. Documentary bill means, for example, I'm going to pay so and so to I'm a A, I'm going to pay this much amount to B. Why I'm paying? Because I got goods from him. What are the goods? List of goods. I got lot of materials. For example, I'm doing textile business. I got a textile material, clothing material, Kashmiri material, Banaras material, Kolkata material, Rajasthani material, all these materials. For this reason, I have to pay him this much amount. Documentary bill, that is called. Attached with this thing, instrument, negotiable instrument, they are attaching the document bill. Why I'm liable to pay to you? Because I purchased something from you. What I purchased, these are the materials I purchased. For that reason, I have to pay to this much amount to you. Ambiguous instrument. Confusion. Confusion is ambiguous generally. Ambiguous means what? Confusion. There is something flaw in the instrument. For example, signature is not matching, or amount is not written properly, or owner is I have a doubt on the signature, like that. Anything doubtful in nature. When an instrument due to faulty drafting, that's what they are saying, drafting wrongly, because amount I mentioned 50,000 rupees, but in words I'm mentioning only 5,000 rupees. Then it is an ambiguous instrument. You got it. When an instrument due to faulty drafting may be interpreted either as a bill or not, it is an ambiguous instrument. It is for holder to decide how he wants the bills to be treated. Ambiguity may also arise when the amount is stated differently in words and figures. In such case, the amount stated in words will be taken into account. For example, in numbers I am writing 50,000, but in words I am writing only 5,000. 5,000 English I am writing 5,000 rupees only, but in numbers I written 50,000 rupees. Then which one is correct? As per the law, they are saying what is written in the words is correct. 5,000 only written in the words, then that is the amount you have to pay, not 50,000 rupees. Numbers not acceptable. Only in words, what is written is acceptable. That's what is mentioned here. Then it is an ambiguous instrument. Fault in the drafting. Something while writing, I written wrongly something, ambiguous instrument. Inchoate instrument. An instrument incomplete in some respect is known as inchoate instrument. It is not ambiguous, but inchoate, because something is incomplete. For example, maybe date is not filled, or amount is, or name is not filled properly, like that. When a person signs and delivers to another a blank or incomplete stamped paper, he authorizes the other person to make or complete upon it negotiation or for any amount not exceeding the amount covered by the stamp. The effect of such signing is that a person signing the instrument is liable upon such instrument in the capacity in which he signed it to the holder in due course of the instrument. That's what they are saying. When I'm signing now, blankly I'm signing without writing the amount and everything, I'm simply signing. Then another person can fill the amount now. Then that is a kind of inchoate instrument they are saying. Okay. Escrow instrument. Written, drawn for some specific purpose. That I can use this instrument for that specific purpose only. And that is called escrow instrument. Escrow account is there. Escrow bank account. What is the meaning of escrow bank account? That bank account cannot be used for all purpose. That bank account is used for only for some special purpose. What is that special purpose? I am going to issue new shares to my shareholders. Then whatever the money and subscription money I am collecting, that amount should be transferred to this only to this bank account alone. Then that bank account is called escrow account, created specifically for collecting the subscription amount from the shareholders. Some special events, special purpose it is created. That is called escrow account. Similarly, escrow instrument created for some special event. What we will see. When an instrument is drawn conditionally or for special purpose as a collateral security and not for the purpose of transferring property therein is called a escrow instrument. The liability pay in case of escrow instrument does not arise if the condition agreed upon or not fulfilled or the purpose of which the instrument was delivered is not achieved. Similarly, I am taking bank loan and I am writing on promissory note. Then that is an escrow instrument. If I don't pay the loan, then only banker can claim the money from promissory note. I paid the loan correctly. Without any due, I paid the loan correctly. Then banker should not ask again. See, you also signed the promissory note. Then you pay again once more. It is not possible. Escrow instrument is like, I borrowed loan from you. If I am not able to pay the loan, then banker will enforce the promissory note. If I repaid the loan correctly, then you will not bother about promissory note because purpose is fulfilled. Parties to a negotiable instrument. Parties to a negotiable instrument. Different players. Drawer. Who is a drawer? Bill of exchange. Remember, the person who draws the bill. Creditor. Creditor will draw the bill on behalf of debtor. Then debtor has to sign the, debtor has to accept. Inch out instrument. One more, sir. Inch out instrument, as I said, it is not an, it is like an incomplete. I am simply signing the instrument. Promissory note I am signing. I am not filling anything. Amount I didn't fill. Words I didn't fill. Anything I didn't fill. I gave it to the person. He will fill whatever he wants. Then it becomes an inch out instrument. Then I am liable for what he fills now. Okay. Which means I'm giving authorization to opposite person. Fill whatever you want. He is filling 100 crore, 1000 crore. Then I'm liable to pay that amount because blank thing if I signed na, why should I sign blank thing? Now I'm coming back to parties to a negotiable instrument. Bill of exchange. Remember bill of exchange. I said drawer, drawee, and also the acceptor. Drawer, drawee, and also the acceptor. Drawer, drawee, acceptor, payee, everyone is there. We will see one by one. Drawer is a person who draws the bill of exchange. He is normally a creditor. And is writing something. A is a creditor, B is a debtor. Assume A is a creditor and B is a debtor. A is writing some document, drawing the document. What is writing? He is writing B has to pay to me this much amount, 10,000 rupees. And he is handing over to B, that is drawee. B is a debtor. Okay. Then if he accepted the bills means then it is an acceptor. Drawee is accepted the bills. He accepted the bill. B is accepted the bills. What he is accepted? He is ready to pay 10,000 to A or any other person who directs by the A. Okay. So that's what drawer, drawee, acceptor, and payee. Payee is the person going to receive the money. For example, A tell to B. See, you have to pay me 10,000 rupees now. You don't pay to me. Instead of pay to me, you pay to C directly. Then C becomes payee. Okay. Holder. Holder means who is carrying that instrument presently. Holder in due course. Legally, who is holding the instrument. Holder means, we will say, meaning any person entitled in his own name to the possession thereof and to the receiver or recover the amount due from the other parties thereto. Where the instrument is lost or destroyed, the holder is the person who entitled at the time of such loss or destruction. So holder is a person who is carrying the instrument with his name. See, I am the holder of this instrument. See, my name is there. You have to pay to me. I am the present holder of this instrument, final holder, current holder of this instrument. So you have to pay the money to me only, like that. Holder in due course. What is this holder in due course? Holder in due course means there is some consideration. What I'm holding an instrument. And that instrument, what is mentioned? Amount is mentioned. Due course means that amount is mentioned in the instrument. 50,000 rupees is there. Then only that is valid document. Zero is there means no issue, no use. 50,000 is there, and also maturity period is there. I'm holding. When it is getting matured? 31st December 2021 only it is going to mature, which means I have a valid document. And there is no fraudulent. There is the person who is going to pay me now. The person who is created this. The person who is transferred this document is having valid title, legal title. He is an ultimate transferor, and I am going to ultimate holder of this document. No issues on the holder of the no issues of the past transferor. He is an actual transferor, legal transferor. I got legally this document from him. There is no fraudulent activity, no fake document. Okay, that is called holder in due course. Endorse or endorsee, similar to bill, similar to drawer, drawee. Okay. Capacity to become a party to negotiable instrument. Who can be a party? Minor, major, those things. Unsound mind person, mental illness, all this person not eligible. A person competent to contract can become a party to a negotiable instrument. Refer Contract Act. Who can become a contract? Who can sign the contract? The same logic is applying here. A person competent to contract can become a party to a negotiable instrument. If a party who makes, draws, endorses, or negotiates an negotiable instrument is incompetent to do so, the agreement is void as against him. Okay, but the contract is still valid against other parties competent to contract. The manner or condition under which certain categories of person like a minor, corporate body, agent, and legal representative can be party to negotiable instrument are as under. Even minor also, a company also, a agent and a legal representative also can be a party under the negotiable instrument act. Minor means less than 18 years. Corporate body is a company. Agent is acting on behalf of another person. Legal representative is also on behalf of me I am appointing some legal representative, like that, because a person will be in abroad. They have some issue in India, they will appoint some legal representative. Minor, we will check about minor. A minor person is not competent to contract, therefore he cannot bind himself by becoming a party to a negotiable instrument. But mere presence of minor as one of the party in a negotiable instrument does not make it invalid. A minor can draw, endorse, deliver, and negotiate instrument so as to bind all parties except himself. We will see that example. A, B, and C. A minor executed a promissory note in favor of P. Held C's immunity from liability, did not absolve A and B, other joint promisor from liability. For example, what they are saying, A, B, C, three peoples. Out of C is a minor. Okay, they have written some promissory note in favor of P. Tomorrow P is going and asking from A, B, C, and they will tell C, you cannot collect money from C because C is a minor. You cannot ask money from C, but you can ask money from A and B because they are major. That's what mentioned here. A, B, C, three people say. Out of that, C is a minor person. A, B, C, all three together signing on document. What they are signing? In favor of P, they are signing. What they are saying, for example, they have to pay 50,000 rupees to P. Tomorrow P is coming and asking money from C. C will tell, see, I am a minor. You cannot ask money from me. But they can ask money from A and B because they are major. Which means minor alone cannot competent to sign the contract. But he can be one of the party in the negotiable instrument, can sign the document. But tomorrow anything is happened, you cannot ask minor because he is a minor. All other persons you can ask. A, B you can ask, but C you cannot ask because he is a minor. Okay. See what they are saying. A minor is not personally liable on a bill or note given by him for necessaries applied to him. It is only his estate which is liable for such a bill or note. Estate means representative or other persons. Okay. Corporation can be a party to a negotiable instrument if authorized by articles of association. Otherwise, it is ultra virus. Articles of association, memorandum of association, articles of association. Two things is there. When starting a company, we have to write two things. One is memorandum of association, another one is articles of association. That is a parent. That is a parent content, parent document of the company. All the rules and regulation, rights, everything is written in that document. That area only. Memorandum of association, articles of association. So if the company can be a party to a negotiable instrument, it should be authorized by their articles of association. Then only company can enter into a contract related to negotiable instrument. Definitely there should be some articles of association. This point will be there. Agent, take this double crossing. Remember double crossing. What happens in double crossing? On behalf of State Bank of India, Andhra Bank is collecting the money because Andhra Bank is an agent for State Bank of India. Agent is permitted in negotiable instrument, but he is only agent. He is not liable for everything. You got it or not? His principal only liable. State Bank of India only liable for everything, not Andhra Bank. Andhra Bank is a collector, only agent on behalf of State Bank of India. Okay. What here they are saying? As per section 27, an agent can bind his principal by acting on his behalf only in the manner in which he is duly authorized to become a party to a negotiable instrument. The agent is required to make it clear that he is acting in representative capacity, which must be evidenced by the manner he signs such document. The form of signature must show that he does not intend to incur personal liability, otherwise he becomes personally liable. He is just acting on behalf of State Bank of India, Andhra Bank. Anything is happened, only the principal is major responsible person. Example 1, a manager of ABC Limited accepted a bill of exchange and signed A as a manager. It was held that A was a personally liable. A manager of ABC Limited accepted a bill of exchange and signed A as a manager. It was held that A was personally liable. Of course, if anything is happened, then what if any fraudulent thing is happened, then A is also a liable. See here next. A manager of ABC Limited accepted a bill of exchange signed as for ABC Limited. It was held that A was not personally liable. First case, what is the thing? A manager of ABC Limited accepted a bill of exchange signed as A as a manager. First case, what happened? He is signing on his own name. First case, what happened? He is signing on his own name. But in second case, what happened now? On behalf of ABC Limited, he is signing. You got it or not? So on behalf of ABC Limited is signing means then he is not personally liable. ABC Limited only liable. But he is personally signing means then he is liable. That's what they are saying. Then legal representative, as I said, owner will be in abroad. Owner has to do something in India. He may not be coming possible in India. What he will do? He will appoint one legal representative here. On behalf of that person, power of attorney is transferred to this person. On behalf of that person, he will sign here. That is called legal representative. As per section 30, a legal representative of deceased person who signs his name to a negotiable instrument incurs personal liability unless by clear word he limits his liability to the extent of the assets of the deceased received by him as legal representative. What they are saying? What is in abroad? I am signing on his behalf. I am signing on behalf of him only. If tomorrow anything is happened, I am not responsible. You have to collect money from owner's asset. Okay. For example, owner is having 100 crore. I'm signing a document. Something is happened, then 100 crore up to 100 crore liability. Then my owner is liable for up to 100 crore. Not me, because I'm a legal representative only. That's what they're saying here. As per section 30, a legal representative of deceased person who signs his name to a negotiable instrument incurs personal liability unless by clear words he limits his liability to the extent of the assets of the deceased received by him as a legal representative. Whatever my owners having money, that only I can pay you as a fine. Not, you should not ask my packet money. I should not give money from my packet, because I'm a legal representative only. I'm acting on behalf of my owner. If anything wrongs, if anything goes wrong, then ask money from my owner, not from me. Unless I'm mentioning anything, if I'm personally liable, then only I am liable from myself. Otherwise my owner only liable. Okay. So all other 3 point, from 3.2 we discussed already. Now I will move to the 1 mark. So I will go to the fill in the blanks. So what is this fill in the blanks? First question: negotiable instrument is applicable to India, including Jammu and Kashmir, or not including Jammu and Kashmir? Negotiable Instrument Act includes Jammu and Kashmir also, or not? Not applicable to whole of India. It is applicable to whole of India. What about others? All of you try to participate in 1 mark. Ultimately, we are going to write 1 mark only in examination. Nah? Includes all. The right answer we can say whole of India. Right answer we can say whole of India. Yes, the right answer is whole of India. Negotiable Instrument Act 1888 comes into force on which month? March? Comes into force on which? This you have to remember with the date and month. Expecting your answers. Expecting your answers. Any idea? 1st March 1889? I think it is 1889 or what? Year is 1889. 1882. 1st March 1882. Answer is 1st March 1882. Okay. The term negotiable instrument is defined in section. The term negotiable instrument is defined in section 13 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. 13 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. The undertaking contained in a promissory note to pay certain sum of money is conditional or unconditional? Unconditionally I have to write the promissory note, or conditionally I have to write the promissory note? Tell me. I have to put condition in promissory note, or it should be unconditional one? Unconditional. It should be unconditional. Then an instrument is incomplete in one way or other is called what? Incomplete in one way or other way is called what? Inchoate instrument. Remember, inchoate. Inchoate, ambiguous. Ambiguous, inchoate. Inchoate means it is not complete fully. Something is left out. Blank note. Signature only is there. Inchoate, in just now we studied. A bill of exchange. 6th question I am reading. A bill of exchange contains dash and order. Under what order actually? Unconditional order. A bill of exchange contains an unconditional order or what? I think it is unconditional again. A bill of exchange contains an unconditional order. Okay. A grace period for payment. Grace period how many days? From the due date, how many days allowed under bill of exchange as well as promissory note? 3 days. 3 days. Correct. Then what? The term a check in the electronic form is defined in the Negotiable Instrument Act under section. You have to remember, memory power is required for this. Even you have to remember section, what is the section number? Section 6 under 1A of section 6, explanation 1A of section 6. Please remember, explanation 1A of section 6 deals with check in electronic form. Question number 9, a bearer instrument is negotiated by holder of the check. A bearer instrument is negotiated by whom? Holder of the check or holder in due course or what? Endorsement. Okay. Endorsement means I am just endorsing in the bank. A bearer of instrument negotiated by endorsement. Okay. Then dash parties are involved in bill of exchange. How many parties in bill of exchange? Drawer, drawee, payee. Drawer, drawee, payee. Drawer, drawee, payee. How many parties? Drawer, drawee, payee means how many parties? 3 parties. How many parties involved in bill of exchange? 3 parties. And in case of promissory note, how many parties involved? Who is promising? Debtor is promising. To whom he is promising? To creditor he is promising. 2 parties, debtor and creditors. Debtor and creditor, 2 parties in case of promissory note. In case of check, how many parties? Okay, check, how many parties? Drawer, check drawer is there. And drawee, banker is the drawee. And payee is the person who is going to receive money. So drawer, banker, that is drawee, and payee. So 3 parties. How many parties for the check involved? 3 parties. Okay. Point number 13. When a check is payable across the counter of a bank, it is called what? Just I am going to counter and I am collecting the check. Sorry, I am collecting the cash, which means it is not crossed. 13th question explains, sir. When a check is payable across the counter of the bank, it is called, means I'm just going to bank, cashier place, just giving this check to cashier and collecting the check. What I can say? This is not crossed check first. This is plain check, clear check. Plain check we can say. Open check. Yeah, correct answer is open check. Open means anyone can collect the money. Anyone I can say they can collect directly from the counter. Open check. Sometimes not anyone. If I write someone name, then they only can collect the cash, not others. What about the next point? 14th point. Dash days grace period is allowed for payment of a check. No. Payment of check how many days? 90 days, na? No days, grace days allowed for payment of check, no? It is allowed. No grace days is allowed. 14th one, 0. That's what answer is 0. Only for bill of exchange and for promissory note only extra 3 days allowed. But check no grace days. 0 days. And 15th point, very easy question. A check is always payable on time or demand. A check is always payable on time or demand. Demand. Yes. Correct. The undertaking contained in a promissory note to pay a certain sum of money is conditional. or unconditional. Sorry, unconditional. Unconditionally, I have to pay. No conditions. Maybe B is the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. First question, B might be the correct answer. Yes. Unconditionally, I have to pay. Second one, a bill of exchange contains unconditional order. Unconditional order. I'm ordering. I'm a creditor. I'm ordering to my debtor. He has to accept that order. Acceptor. Then he becomes acceptor. I think B is the answer. For second also B is the answer. Third one, check is a dash. Check is a bill of exchange. It is not a promissory note. Check is a type of bill of exchange. Check is a type of bill of exchange. And 3 is also B. The term negotiable instrument is referred under which section? Just now we studied section number 13. Section number 13. Nah? So 4 is also B. Then what? The term negotiation in section 14 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 refers to first point is the transfer of a bill of exchange. The transfer of a bill of exchange, property note or check to any person so as to constitute the person to holder thereof. Maybe answer A will be the correct. Reason is it's a proper answer and it's also a lengthy answer. Maybe A is the correct answer. Sixth point, if an instrument may be constituted either as a promissory note or a bill of exchange, it is a, if an instrument may be constituted either as a promissory note or a bill of exchange, it is a constituted either as a promissory note or bill of exchange. Confusion. There is a confusion because they are not clear whether it is a promissory note or bill of exchange. Then it is an ambiguous instrument. Seventh, if a minor draws, endorses, delivers, or negotiates an instrument, such instrument binds. Just now I discussed A, B, C is there. C, A, B, and C is a minor. He also signed. Tomorrow anything is happened, you cannot ask from C because C is a minor. A, B only you can ask, which means first is the correct answer. All the parties to instrument is including, no, not first is not the correct answer because minor is not liable. Second, only the minor, that is also wrong. Minor is not at all liable. See, all the parties to the instrument except the minor, that is the correct answer. Answer number C is the correct. Minor can sign the document, but tomorrow anything is happened, you should not sue the minor. That's what they are saying. In a promissory note, the amount of money payable must be certain or uncertain. Definitely, it should be certain. What is the amount? 50,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. It should be certain. Then answer A is correct. Okay. Answer A is correct. Then a check is crossed dash when it bears across its face an addition name of a banker. Bank name is included in the check in a parallel line. What is the thing? Then it is called what crossing? General crossing or special crossing? Bank name is included in a general or special? In parallel line. In parallel line, bank name is included in a special is the correct thing. Answer A. Yes. Under section 118 of the Instrument Act, it is presumed until the contrary is proved that every transfer of negotiable was made before its maturity. Because after maturity, if you are right, if you are drafting the instrument, then not at all valid. What is the thing for a consideration before its maturity and for legal title of the owner should not be defective. This is the important thing. Okay. So I think 10 B is the correct answer. Then 11, who among the following cannot cross a check? Who cannot cross the check? As I told, drawer, the original holder of the check can cross, and also the who is having the check and they can also cross, and also banker also can cross. Double crossing can only by banker, na? Then who cannot cross? Foreigner, totally a different person. He is not allowed to crossing. He is not at all in the picture. Okay. So 12th is the presumption as to the date of negotiable instrument under section 118 is that every negotiable instrument bearing a date was made on prior to that date only. Prior to that date or any other answer? On such date. On such date is the correct answer. The 13th question, where a check is crossed, generally the bank on whom it is drawn. Check, I am crossing a check, then one thing you remember, if I is crossed, then I cannot pay in counter. I can transfer only in their bank. Nah. Then you have to read the answer. Shall not pay it to otherwise than to a banker, shall not pay it to otherwise than to the holder, shall not pay to a banker. Holder, for holder, I will not pay. Cash, I will not pay to the holder. And I will pay only through bank account. I will transfer only through bank account. I will not pay in cash. I will pay only through bank account means first is the correct answer. Shall not pay it otherwise then to a banker. I will pay only through bank account. Through banker only I will pay because check is already crossed, which means cash is not permitted. So 13th A is the correct answer. Then 14. Negotiable Instrument Act is applicable to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. Na? So first is the correct answer. Answer A. 15th. The Negotiable Instrument Act came into force. Just now we studied 1st March 1882. Correct. 16th. The term negotiable instrument defined in section 13. Just now we studied. So point answer number B. The undertaking contained in promissory note to pay certain sum of money is conditional. Just now we studied 17th A answer. Which of these is not a negotiable instrument as per the Negotiable Instrument Act? Bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument. Bearer check is a negotiable instrument. Delivery note is also a negotiable instrument. Examples we studied. Dividend warrant, delivery note, all these things is also a negotiable. So share certificate without this thing, something we studied. That is not a negotiable instrument. Point number 19. Dash is not a negotiable instrument as per customs and usage. Yes, check is not a negotiable instrument as per customs and usage. Because check is a negotiable instrument as per law, not as per customs and usage. Check, bill of exchange, promissory note is an negotiable instrument as per rules and regulation, as per law, not as per customs and usage. So check is not a negotiable as per customs and usage. Then an instrument incomplete in one way or other is called in-chavot instrument. Just now we studied. The bill of exchange contains a unconditional order. Just now we studied 21 A. Check is a bill of exchange, not a promissory note. But what answer they wrote? Yes, they are all correct. Check is a bill of exchange, not a promissory note. So B is the correct answer. A corporation can be party to a negotiable instrument if only authorized by its articles of association. Answer is A. A corporation can be party to a negotiable instrument if only authorized by its articles of association. Answer is A. A grace period of negotiation other than payable on demand is how many days? 3 days. 24. B. 3 days is the correct answer. Okay. The term check in electronic form, just now we discussed. Nah? Explanation 1A of section C. 25th C. Just now we discussed. If minor draws, endorses, delivers, or negotiation an instrument, such instrument binds all parties to the instrument except minor. Just now we studied. 26th C. Just now we studied. How many parties involved in bill of exchange? Just now we studied 3 parties. Drawer, drawee, and payee. 3 parties involved. 27 B. 27 B. A promissory note, bill of exchange or check drawn or made in India and made payable in India. If it is in India, then it is an inland instrument. If it is drawn in any other country, then it is a foreign instrument. Legally bindable in any other country means foreign instrument. Then A is the correct answer. 28A. Okay. If any instrument constituted either as a promissory note or a bill of exchange, just now we said it is an ambiguous instrument. Unambiguous instrument or what? 29. Unambiguous instrument. Just now we studied. Which means then what? If the words not negotiable are used with special crossing in a check, the check is called. If the word not negotiable are used means negotiable under certain circumstances are not transferable. Transferable only, the check is transferable. 30B or 30A. Why it is not transferable? If the word not negotiable are used with special crossing in a check, the check is not transferable is not the correct answer in my opinion. Because not negotiable does not mean it is not transferable. It is transferable with legal validity. Book answer is not transferable. That's what I'm also. But not negotiable means that does not mean not transferable. That's what they said there, na. Not negotiable means while transferring, you have to check the legal aspect. Whether I should transfer to that person or not, that I have to check. In my opinion, B is the correct answer. Negotiable under certain circumstances is also is not a correct answer. Because it is an unconditional. Transferable with legal verification or legal background. That might be the correct answer, but for the sake of institute, you remember not transferable. General meaning not negotiable means not transferable. That is general meaning. But that is not applicable here. Special crossing in a check are used with a special crossing in a check. Special crossing in a check means what? I am writing on particular bank name. Anyone is having with that bank account, they can go and ask the money. Special crossing means what? In that I am writing on bank account name, particular bank name. If I am writing on particular person name, then it is not transferable. Payee name I am written. I written as Preeti, payee name. Then Preeti cannot transfer to Sandar, Mohan Sandar. Sureka, Preeti cannot transfer to Sureka easily. So they can do, but there are some procedures. Everything there is a procedure. I am not discussing in depth. as per your level, what is there, what is required, I'm discussing. If you went to detailed in-depth discussion, lot of things we will come to know about this checks and all, but I am discussing very limited aspects. So with this we can wind up for the day, and I think I have completed the syllabus. For me, Negotiable Instrument Act and Sale of Goods Act and this ethics is allotted, that I completed. So shall we wind up and shall we close this topic uh, from today onwards, or anything is left, or you need one more class for anything, that you have to tell me now. Otherwise, I will inform to the institute that we completed the syllabus. Okay. I wish you all the best for your examinations. Even if you have any doubts, you are always welcome. So shall I inform to the institute that I have completed the syllabus, what is allotted to me? Is it okay for you? Whether you will able to manage? Please share your feedback. Accordingly, I will decide. So let me know anything is left out. I think the Negotiable Instrument Act, Sale of Goods Act, and ethics, three things I covered 100%. Now, did I left out anything on these three things? I think 100% of the material itself I covered. 1 mark also I tried to cover here and there maximum. So please give your feedback. Shall we close the session permanently for this law and ethics, or anything is left out you want to cover? Let me know now itself, so that I will arrange one more class if required. Otherwise, we can wind up for the session, total session. So I'm not getting any specific request or something like that. Yes, sir, close the session. Okay. Arrange one more class. Another person is saying arrange one more class. One more class. For what I should arrange? Because for my thing is Sale of Goods Act is covered, Negotiable Instrument is covered. Even I covered 1 mark also. Ethics and business also I covered 100%. What I should do in that one class? Anything you want specifically, or any area I should? If you have any doubts, can we contact you? Yes, definitely. I'll share my number also. You're always welcome. You have to tell me what I should do with that one more class. Okay. Let me know. I gave my number also. You just, if you want to extend one more class, you discuss with your people's students, other friends, and let me know what you want to cover exactly. If possible, I can arrange one more class. I gave my number here now. You just later also you can message me what you want. We have a little more time also. Okay. For the time being, I am winding up for the day. Thank you all.